This video is going to talk about Google Drive file stream. So if we just do a search for Google Drive file stream download, we can get to the area where we can download file stream. In a previous video, I talked about Google Backup and Sync. And Google Backup and Sync basically backs up the contents of your Google Drive onto a folder on your computer. It also backs up folders on your computer to your Google Drive and creates a folder in your Google Drive called Computers, which contains the contents of the files that you have on your computer. So what's great about Backup and Sync is the files that it syncs to your computer are available offline. Google Drive file stream is a little bit different in that it does back up all of your Google Drive files to your computer, but those files are streamed to your computer. So once we download file stream, you will see a new Drive folder on your computer somewhere along the left-hand side here. And it will contain the contents of your Google Drive, the entire contents of your Google Drive, including all of the shared with me stuff and the shared drives if you have any. Now, these files, like I said, are streamed, which means they are not available offline unless you specifically set certain folders and files to be available offline. So once we set up file stream on your computer, all of those will be available to you on any computer that you download Google File Stream. Just like how YouTube videos are streamed, those videos don't live on your computer anywhere. They're just streamed to you. It's the same kind of concept with Google Drive file stream. And like I said, if there are certain folders in your Google Drive that you would like to be available offline that you can access on your computer, you can certainly set those particular items to be available. I think the easiest way to download Google Drive file stream is to just go to your Google Drive and click on the little settings gear icon in the upper right-hand corner and go to Get Drive for Desktop. It will take you to an install link. Download and install Drive file stream right here. And we have a Windows machine, so I'm going to click on that. And there's the file. So I'm going to pause the video while that's running. It took less than 30 seconds. I'm going to click on this file now that it's flashing at me and wanting me to open it. And I'm going to click Run. Okay, so this window is where we go ahead and install it. I would recommend adding a shortcut to your desktop so it's easy to find and access, although it will add a file to your File Explorer in this area as well if you click on the little yellow file folders down in the bottom of your computer screen. I personally do not want desktop shortcuts to Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides on my desktop here, so I'm going to uncheck that, but that's completely up to you. So I'm going to click Install, and then I'll just pause the video while this runs. Okay, I got a message that said Google Drive file stream was successfully installed, so I can close this window now. And now, when I click on the little yellow folders down here at the bottom of my screen, I see my Google Drive file stream right here. And then I also have that desktop shortcut right there. Now, what I'm looking at is the contents of my Google Drive and then any shared drives that I have. So I can open this up and all of my files are immediately available. Now, like I said, these files are available because I'm connected to the internet, and that's how FileStream differs from Google Backup and Sync. With Google Backup and Sync, these files actually live on my hard drive and are available offline. But I can make certain files available offline if I want. So that's the next step of this video. I'm going to show you how to make certain files and folders available offline. Okay, so to make those files available offline, I'm going to open up my Google Drive file stream and jump into my drive and open up a folder here. Let's say that I want to make this particular PDF available offline. All I have to do is right click on it and find the drive file stream and select available offline. So I can click on that. Now, the issue with this is you cannot make Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides available offline. So if I right click on this Google Doc and I try to make it available offline, you'll see that that option is grayed out. So for native Google Docs, spreadsheets, and slideshows, those cannot be available offline. You have to, you need the internet to be able to work with those. But anything that's not a Google Doc file or slideshow, like this video, I have a Word doc here. I can hold the Control key and choose, there's a spreadsheet, that's in Excel, PDFs, and if there's any Word docs, you can select those, right click, and make available, there it is, offline. You can make entire folders available offline. However, keep in mind that only the non-Google Doc contents of that folder will actually be available offline. So you do need internet connection. So remember, like I said, this is a streaming service. So it's like streaming YouTube videos. Those YouTube videos that you watch, they don't live on your computer. They're not taking up any hard space. It's the same kind of concept. There is a little bit of a workaround if you do want your Google Drive to be available offline. You can log onto your Google Drive, select Settings, go to Online or Offline, and you can check this box. And by checking this box, your Google Drive will try to make, like it says here, recent doc, sheets, slides, and slide files available on this particular device offline. Once you check this box, depending on how much stuff you have in your Google Drive, it may take a little while to sync. And you'll have to do that on any computer that you'll want your drive to be available offline. So I can do this from my work computer, but then if I go home, I'll have to do this on my home computer. The advantage to the Google Drive stream is that because it is streaming your files, you don't really have to worry too much about it taking up storage space on your hard drive. If you remember, if you saw the Google Backup and Sync video that I did, the Google Backup and Sync does actually store these files on your hard drive and does take up storage room. So you kind of have to decide which tool is best for you. The nice thing about Google File Stream is I can interact with my Google Drive file stream from my computer by creating folders. Backup, U Drive, maybe I'll call this. And now I can start placing files that live on the network at school in my user drive. I can start adding those and backing those up to my Google Drive. A handy little trick I picked up somewhere is if you hold your Shift key down and click on the yellow file folder at the bottom, you can open two instances of your File Explorer. So on the right-hand side, I have my Google Drive file stream. I'm going to open up that backup user drive folder that I just created. And on the left-hand side, I have my user drive. Let's say there's a particular lesson that I want to save. I'll jump into my novel units, and let's say there's some files in here I would like to back up into my Google Drive. I can select those and just drag them right over. These files are now available in my Google Drive. So if I go home and log into my Google Drive, going to refresh my screen here, I'll see that backup folder that I created. There it is. And I will see those files that I placed in there. And those are available to me to open up and edit and share and work with as needed. So there is a back and forth relationship between what's in your Google Drive and what's in your file stream. It syncs back and forth. So I hope either Google Backup and Sync or Google File Stream is a way for you to help you transition between work and home and access all the files that you need to access.